All right, welcome to part 2 of episode 5. Let's find out the rest of the basic functions of a DAW, shall we? The next thing is the mixer. The mixing console in the software resembles a mixing console in a recording studio. The elements of the console are channels. These vertical things are channels. And there's different kinds of channels. You have audio channels, which control the sound of the audio tracks that you have in your sequencer. You have instrument channels. We'll just get a loop going over and over here. All right, so if I hit play, there's that synthesizer. There's that voice. Mute that voice because I don't like that guy sings. So at the bottom, there's faders. Faders control the volume. This is an instrument channel signified by the keyboard. This is an audio channel signified by the waveform right there. You have what's known as effects channels. I have a delay on this channel. As a matter of fact, check it out. Put some delay on that boy. How about that? So that's an effects channel. There's things called bus channels, which I'll explain later. Aux channels, these are for external devices like synthesizers that are hardware instruments in your room. The next area is sends. Sends send the sound of what the fader is controlling to a device to add to the sound on that channel, like reverb or delay or any number one of effects. This is an analog delay send hitting an analog delay on an effects channel. The next area is inserts. Inserts, this is where you place plugins to affect the sound that's going through the channel. We can put a little equalizer on here. There it is. Insert, equalizer. Equalizer will change the sound. The last thing in the mixing console is what's coming into the channel and what's going out of a channel, the signal path. So here on audio 3, we see that the input to it is the input from the interface, and the output of this channel is going to what's called main out. Main out is the main output that goes to the interface that you hear through your speakers. Here, this audio channel, I've got a bus over here. I said I was going to explain buses. You can have these two channels going out to a thing called bus 1, and then they would show up on the input here. You can see audio 1 and audio 2 coming into this bus, going out that bus, going out to the main, which means these two channels, I could put one insert here to affect the sound of these two channels, and if I had 10 channels that were hitting this bus, I could do that. I could put one insert to affect the sound of 10 channels. That's what buses are for. So the sound comes into a channel from someplace, then you process that sound with inserts, and then volume, and then pan, and then you go out of that channel to someplace. Each channel has its own input and output. The next major area you find in a DAW is what's called a browser. Most new DAWs have browsers these days, which enable you to go find anything and everything you need to put into your song. Here, the major areas are instruments, effects, loops, files, what they call the cloud, which is just basically getting onto SoundCloud or something of that nature. Shop, that's so you can go to their website and buy more stuff from them. I love that. And pool, which is the stuff that's in your session. We look now, we see, oh, there's a few things that have been thrown into the session and taken out of the session, and everything that was ever put in this session, there's the sounds right there. So we'll start off with instruments. You can pick up instruments to put into your session. Just drag them in from the browser. So we're going to grab this thing here. We're going to grab Impact and just throw it down here, and there's a track for Impact, okay? Then we'll grab Comfort Zone. How about that? And there's a kick drum, and we hear it. That's one way of grabbing an instrument, throwing it out there, and getting it available. The next area is effects. Effects are plugins, and plugins typically go on inserts. Here's an example of, this is a reverb, a large hall, and if I drag that into the insert on the channel for impact, if I hit that kick drum now, it's got a lot of reverb on it. I probably wouldn't do that, but that was just an example of showing you how to grab an effect and throw it out there onto something. The next area is loops. Loops are great. If you want to get something going real quick, not a bad thing. Here, quick drum loop. We'll just drag this out here, and let's hit play. Okay, anyway, that's how loops work. They're just ready-made things. Let's get rid of that. What's the next thing? Well, files. Files is basically your computer. It's where you are, what you want to grab. So this way, if if there's things that you did in another song or another project or anything that's on your computer that is compatible, you can pull in. So anyway, the browser. All right, the next big thing that you find in a DAW is the edit window. Select an audio track here. Oh, here's our drum track that we just were messing around with. Hit play. Okay, you have different tools that you can play around with in your edit window. You can cut things up here, cut that. You can move that. Let's do this. Watch this. This is going to sound weird. This is making the drummer do something different. Who knows? He tried to get fancy, but he blew it. Boom, let's move that another. I have no idea. I'm just winging it here. Pretty neat. Okay, so you can get down into to a lot of detail in an edit window. You can zoom in and zoom out and get a lot of control and really get fine-tooth editing going on. So this is the edit window allowing you to do that. And that's audio. Let's look at MIDI in the edit window, huh? Let's look at our MIDI track here, the presence track. All right, double-click it and it automatically opens the edit window. Now look at this. See, MIDI looks a lot different than audio, huh? Audio's all the squiggly lines. Well, MIDI. Check it out. So let's change the chord. Let's change the chord even more. Let's add a note. I mean, I do this all the time when it comes to keyboard parts. You can just sit there and change notes and go, wow, I didn't know that we could do. So the edit window, a lot of fine-tooth work that you can do in the editing window. Oh, we're all feeling so much better now that we understand the basics of a digital audio workstation, the different windows, the tools, all the fun things that you can do. In episode 6, we delve into the workflow, the process of getting a song off the ground, stuff you need to know to get things started. You're not going to want to miss that one. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and continue watching the Home Studio for Beginners course here at Record, Mix, Repeat. I'm your host, Rusty Smith. Thank you for watching.